Despite the suggestions of Calhoun's rats, humans in cities reacted differently or sometimes opposite the manner that researchers expected, depending on the location. No matter how they tried, no evidence of a widespread behavioral sync could be found in urban areas.
It depends on how you're filtering, and it depends on the cultural framework that you're coming from. I read an article a long time ago, 7 years ago, 2012. It was about Facebook, and it said Facebook runs on envy. Envy is the fuel of Facebook. That
He spent his time on new subjects as he continued to perfect his enclosures and experiments until finally, after 11 years, Calhoun revealed his magnum opus through an article he entitled Death Squared, which was published in the journal Proceedings of the Royal Society of Medicine in January of 1973. The lengthy opening to this article was undeniably apocalyptic. Calhoun wrote, "I shall largely speak of mice, but my thoughts are on man, on healing, on life and its evolution. Threatening life and evolution are the two deaths, death of the spirit and death of the body. Evolution, in terms of ancient wisdom, is the acquisition of access to the tree of life." Unquote.
Well, to me, one of the biggest unexamined issues is the transition from the great extended family of old, into the nuclear family. So I do feel that Freud is the best analyst of the particular kind of claustrophobic cell of the modern nuclear family. It could be that human beings were never intended, to be trapped in a house just with their parents. The extended families, your aunts and grandparents and cousins, all of whom helped form your identity. So one's identity was as a member of a community, right, rather than in this hothouse environment. So I think that a lot of current issues, including this sudden spate of transgender claims and so on, that a lot of these things are coming from this unstable in cell. It's really a prison cell of a nuclear family. Two parents perhaps cannot give all the knowledge of life to the young.
Phase was characterized largely by an entire generation of young who had been rejected by their mothers early and forced to leave the nest, and they were therefore unable to exhibit normal social behavior. This manifested in numerous ways. The females of this generation had far fewer children, and those that did have children lacked the maternal instincts necessary to raise them beyond weaning. Calhoun goes on to describe the males of this generation. Quote, "Male counterparts to these non-reproducing females were soon dubbed the beautiful ones. They never engaged in sexual approaches toward females, and they never engaged in fighting, and so they had no wound or scar tissue. Thus, their pelage remained in excellent condition. Their behavioral repertoire became largely confined to eating, drinking, sleeping, and grooming, none of which carried any social implications beyond that represented by contiguity of bodies."
We are the hottest generation that's ever lived, sort of a thing. And the whole concept of that is that seems to be our driving philosophy and driving values for younger generations and current generations, because with all of the visual images that we're fed every day, everybody is hot. Everybody is sexy, or at least trying to be. All the underage people are trying to be because of whoever's already hot, sort of a deal. So now everybody is literally dictating all of their behaviors and everything that they do day to day just to be hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I've wanted to do something on this for a while, because obviously I've been around Spain and British holiday resorts for the last 20 years, longer, it's like 20, 24 years. And I've seen the evolution of young British men. And you walk around Ibiza now, if you walk down the street in Ibiza, it's like 80% of the guys look like out of season swimwear models.